Fellow Rotarians, distinguished guests, fellow peace builders, and everyone joining us live or on YouTube, thank you. My name is Hafiz. I am a physician from Ethiopia, the land that brought the world coffee, which I hope is kicking in right about now. I am also a Class 23 Rotary Peace Fellow, and I'm completing my MPH at UNC Gillings. But today, I'm not here as any of those things. I am someone who has stood exactly where the people in this talk stand. This conference is about building peace from the margins. Let me show you what the margins look like up close. Picture a frontline health worker in a conflict-scarred region of Africa, on call after 36 straight hours. That morning, they save a 3-year-old boy who mistook rat poison for candy. They tracked down a patient who fled confinement for multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. Then things take a turn, as they usually do. The health worker sits with the parents of triplets and tells them that they have lost their second child in 4 days to an infection because the right antibiotics did not exist. But the day does not end there. That same health worker sees 60 patients when the guideline caps the day at 40. Hospital administrators press them to cover up a cholera outbreak. Gunshot wounds from a land dispute fill the corridors. And then a phone rings. A family member hundreds of miles away has attempted suicide. At first light, the meadow blazes green and gold, and this health worker stands on their last legs, caught in a paradox. They spent most of their life healing others. But who heals the healer? That question is not abstract, it's existential. For every peace builder and for the peace we are all here to build. Before I show you any evidence, I want to tell you why this matters. Peace builders are human beings who deserve care as a matter of dignity. That is the moral case. But there is also a practical case. When we provide that care, especially through the relationships closest to them, we protect not only the humanity, but also the quality, steadiness, and sustainability of the work we depend on them to do. Those two truths are not in tension. They reinforce each other. So this is both the right thing to do and the smart thing to do. The peace-building world is losing its people, not to conflict, but to the work of peace itself. Recent humanitarian evidence shows high levels of burnout, depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress across this workforce. Burnout ranges roughly from about 1 in 12 to nearly 1 in 3, depending on the study and setting. In one high-risk sample from South Sudan, 39% screened positive for depression. And in that same setting, 24% screened positive for PTSD. So when I say that there is a hidden crisis, I do not mean a symbolic one. I mean a measurable crisis, affecting real workers and real systems under real strain. These are not abstractions. They are colleagues, project partners, and some of us in this room. But here is what those statistics miss. For some peace builders, not all, the story does not begin on the front line. It begins in childhood. Research shows that many health and social care workers face adverse childhood experiences, or better known as ACEs, with over 70% reporting at least one. Childhood adversity and parentification can impact their choice to pursue caregiving roles and their performance at work. While not all peace builders share this background, It's an important factor for understanding their strengths and vulnerabilities. Gabor Mate, a physician and trauma expert, highlights the tension between attachment and authenticity. Attachment involves maintaining connections with caregivers, while authenticity focuses on recognizing one's own feelings and needs. When these two drives conflict, children often prioritize attachment, which can lead to valuable traits like empathy and responsibility. However, as adults, these adaptations can become liabilities, causing individuals to handle others' distress while neglecting their own limits. Recognizing this pattern is a step one can take toward breaking the cycle. So, what actually protects them? Organizations often invest in individual level solutions, such as counseling, resilience workshops, and rest. While these measures are important and beneficial for many, they don't address the broader issues at play. Several studies suggest that close relational support matters for people working under chronic stress. On the Thai-Myanmar border, family support was associated with lower burnout among humanitarian aid workers. In Bangladesh, humanitarian worker burnout was linked not only to workplace stressors, but also to family-related strain, separation, and isolation. In the US, family readiness research in military population suggests that supporting spouses and close partners can strengthen overall resilience in high-stress service systems. So the family, or whoever constitutes a person's closest relational system, is not peripheral to resilience. It may be one of the structures that helps sustain it. I call it the first circle of peace. The family is often the first architecture of resilience. And by family, I mean those you come home to, by blood or choice, including spouses, friends, and mentors who see your true self. For many, family hasn't always meant safety, as some grew up in homes needing peace building. The relational system around the peace builder influences whether resilience thrives or falters. Before we build peace across borders, we must build it in the place where every human being first learns what peace feels like or doesn't. The circle works in both directions. What the family carries, the peace builder carries to the field, and what the field does to them, they carry home. So, what follows from all of this? I want to offer 3 practical actions. First, a family readiness package that prepares not only the worker, but also their support system before deployment or intense assignments. This includes orientation for spouses or trusted supporters on emotional effects, warning signs, maintaining connection, and seeking help if needed. It's essential to prepare both the mission and the relationships that support worker success. Second, healer circles that offer structured, trauma-informed support spaces where peace builders can share their burdens. These can be peer-only or include trusted supporters, creating an intentional support network around the worker. Third, pilot relational models which involved testing interventions that view the peace builder as part of their relationships, not an isolated individual. This could include family-inclusive psychoeducation, supporter-informed check-ins, or community-based models. They can start as small, measurable pilots, focusing on burnout, retention, distress, and perceived support. These are concrete, promising, fundable, and testable interventions. Before I close, I owe you a confession. That health worker looking out at the blazing green and gold meadow on his last legs, that was me. I wasn't every scenario I described, but I know what it means to keep helping while privately unraveling. I know what it means to serve others before you have learned how to receive care yourself. I don't want to make this talk about me. I share it because if I don't, this remains an abstraction, and it's not abstract. What began to change things was not a single moment. It was a slow, clumsy process of letting people in. And I want to name something. A remarkable number of those people entered my life through Rotary. Not through a program, but through a community. Professors who invested in me, friends who called me on my nonsense, mentors who showed me what a first circle looks like by becoming one. I'm still learning. I suspect I will always be. Somewhere right now, it's first light. If we want peace building to be sustainable, then we have to protect the people who make peace possible. Not after they break, while they are still standing. Thank you.